my junior year, because I transferred to LSU. It was Bailey's freshman year, and you got tons of athletes. And athletes, you go to LSU, attractive girls. Probably a couple hundred of them. Dang, this is crazy. This one girl walked in, brunette, 5'8", runs like a deer. I didn't know that at the time, but after watching her play, she had this glow about her. And it's hard to explain, but you see an attractive girl, and then you see somebody that they just have more to them than what you see. There's something deep, something genuine. That's grace. Grace. It's God-given. It's a beautiful thing. I said, man, if I didn't pursue her, because at the end of the day, I said, she's a freshman. She's still got the high school mindset. No offense, but you will mature as you get to college. I was much older than her. I said, I'm not gonna waste my time, whatever. So I went on and broke up with the cheerleader, wasn't going anywhere, and I told the Lord, I said, you know what? Focusing on baseball, graduating college, and I was hurt at the time, so I said, if I don't heal up and can't go play professional baseball, I had 15 big league teams looking at me before I got hurt. I couldn't play professional baseball. It wasn't in the cards for me. I said, you know what, I'm going to move home, go get me a dog, I'm going to hunt, fish, and have nobody else to go get me a job. That's what I'm talking about. The guy laughed at me and said, let me tell you something, boy. You think you're a stud? Let's see. A mutual friend called me up and said, hey, are you single? I said, yeah. But I want to stay in that way for a while until I'm 35. And she's like, well, I got somebody that's interested in you. I said, who? She said, you used to flirt. You used to flirt with her. I said, who? But she said, Bailey. I said, what? I said, man, being an athlete, you know who gets around. You know who's a good person. You know who has their problems or whatever. I always heard positive things about this girl. And you be around each other, every now and then. I said, man, I'd be stupid not to get to know this girl. I didn't want to date her. I just wanted to get to know her, see where it went. And it was funny because the year before, this is how the first words I told her, we had the academic center, and I'm probably embarrassed her, but at the academic center, and she's sitting there eating it. I think it was the fall, huh? They had cowboy boots on and Wranglers. I walked in, and she was sitting at the table. I said, I'm talking to her. And it was funny because I still had a girlfriend. And every time we would argue, me and this old girl, we would argue. Bailey would cross my path. If we weren't arguing, I would never see Bailey. Like the sign. I said, yeah, I thought I'd tell you it's a sign. So I walked up to her and said, and at this point, to my defense, I knew me and this other girl were not going to work out. It was just, I was trying to get my head right, trying to break up with her. I'm not very good at that. So I walked up to Bailey, I said, Bailey. She looks at me.
I was nervous, I had a big crush on her.
And I didn't know she had a crush on me. I said, you like to hunt? She's like, yeah. She like to fish? Yeah. I said, are you Catholic? She said, yeah. I said, what are we waiting on? She looked at me. I said, I'm just saying, I'm right here. You're right here. Don't you have a girlfriend? She said, yeah, give me about 2 months. I'm working on that right now. It ain't gonna work out. She's like,
the Lord bless him with truth, you guys.
She's like, this guy for a creep. And I'm full of crew. I like to joke around a lot, but I'm supposed to be kind of serious. And so I go and I get me a little sandwich or smoothie or whatever. She's still sitting there. I said, Bailey. I said, with my physique and whatever you got to offer, but think about the kids. She's like, who is this guy?
Deep down inside, I was very happy, by the way.
I said, I don't want my kid playing JV. I want a dang Olympian, I want to months later, I break up, me and Bailey would go have coffee together. And I never got nervous. We had coffee with a couple of friends, and it was a little study date. And I said, I walked her to her car, and I said, you want to hang out sometime? And go out to dinner, and maybe go to church? And she said, yeah. I said, well, I'll give you a call. I'll give her a hug, and I'll walk away. Boy, okay. So wait, I need a phone number. I didn't have a phone number. I was nervous. I had butterflies. I was like, man, what the heck is going on? Get it together, son.
And kudos to him, you guys. We spoke through my good friend, her name was JC. She kind of middleman both of us because he wanted to be able to ask for my number in person. So he didn't want it to just be like, oh, send me your number, let me text her. So we waited to be gentlemen and give him a number.
Guys, don't mess with people on Facebook.
Do not.
Don't be on Tinder. Just don't do it. Just take a look. We're going to talk more about this. Initiate. I'm real old school when it comes to that stuff. But, yeah, so I said what I needed to say. But we're going to talk more about this initiation in a little bit. But, whenever the first time you saw me after you woke up from passing out. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Okay, so the mutual friend, like you said, she's one of my friends that I lean on for a lot of great advice. So I think that's really important as you guys as young people to have friends, great friends, great holistic, Jesus-loving friends. And she's my friend. And so it's actually funny because I was before this happened, before we knew he was single, I was in the middle of kind of, trying out, maybe talking to a guy a little bit, not really talking, but just kind of, having a conversation, seeing if he was the type of guy that I wanted to be with. And literally the night before this all happened, that we found out he was single, I was like, you know what, JC, this would be so much easier for him if he was just single. And literally, that was the Lord, because the next day I found out he was. And just a funny backup story, she found out through a girl whose wedding we're about to be in next month that he was single. And she messaged me right before a game. So I got a text right before a game saying, oh, Brady's single. And then she starts messaging him on Facebook as I am playing. So I come back to their whole conversation where she admits to him that I've been having a crush on him for a year now. I had no say in it. So I didn't say for her to say all these things. She just did it, thank God, because it ended up with me. But that's kind of how it happened. But ever since I saw Brady, like he said, similar to his experience when he first saw me, was that I looked at him, obviously in his jeans and cowboy boots that stood out, but that was the thing that I was attracted to because he was different. His individual, just being proud of who he was, caught my eye. And like he said, he had that glow about him. Something was different about him. I always tell people, I was like, the moment I fell in love with you before I knew you was, we were at the study hall. And he was across the way from me, and he sat down and ate his breakfast, and he said a prayer before he ate. And I was just like, wow, in front of all these people, people just walking in and out, hurrying to get to class, he sat down for breakfast and he prayed. And that's what really struck my heart. I was like, he's not ashamed of what he believes in, and that's a beautiful thing. So, like he said, we just kind of went on that coffee date, and he forgot to ask for my number. I thought he didn't like me.
She didn't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. The first time she saw me was on Twitter. There was a video shown to her, and I was in the locker room after showering. I had a towel on, and I was dancing to some Marvin Gaye with some sunglasses on. That's whenever she knew that I was going to be the dancer in the relationship. But, okay. So, we started talking, we started hanging out, and, at this point, I've experienced things with previous relationships, and I've made a commitment to the Lord, and I said, you know what, Lord, I don't want to do these things anymore because it doesn't work out. I'm tired of doing it my way, and I'm really, what do you call it, stubborn? I'm stubborn. I try doing things on my own. I got to be the man. The man's mentality is, I just got to bulldoze, just keep punching my way through things. Got to be hard-nosed. And things in life aren't meant to be done on your own. always have somebody to talk to. If you don't have, I'm very blessed. I have these two people right here, my mom and dad. I can tell these people just anything. And sometimes my mom's like, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, oh, okay, don't ask. Be careful what you ask for. And this young lady right here. But if you don't have one of those people in your family, have a friend that's evenly yoked with you. Somebody that, whenever you're running, whenever we're training, I think that's what I miss the most about volleyball. We'll get on the line at 5:30 in the morning. Some guy, walk up to the line, still half, sleep and hair's all messed up. If y'all go play college ball, get up early, get you a little breakfast with your face, slick your hair back, you look good, play good, you look presentable. Some guys still have the puffy face. Nate, you see that? It's a bad deal for a coach. Like, this guy just rolled out of bed, probably didn't even put deodorant on. Oh man, get your stuff together. Well, anyway, you give them a side and we're going to see who's the fastest. And I'm not bragging, but I was a pitcher. You had the fast guys like Andrew Stevenson, Mark Laird, Alex Bregman. You had, pitchers, your fast pitchers, or your corner fielders maybe. Then you had your third, which is like medium group. Then you had your slow group, like PHs, catchers, and a couple other guys. So anyway, like Dylan Brown. Anyway, my coach would always put me in the fastest group. See, two of these guys I'm running against are in the big league now. I'm a pitcher. I'm running against center fielders and shortstops. That's good. About to show you what's going on. I miss that. And challenging one another is what I'm getting at. Looking on the side, and most of the time they were ahead of me, but I was right on their tail. Having somebody that pushes you, challenges you. If you're running and they just want to walk, sorry for you, but I'm not dropping my standards. That's what it's all about when it comes to friendship, relationships, and period. But before we even started a relationship, we weren't even dating. 2 weeks into us talking, we actually went to church. And after church, we were sitting, I think we'll get some dinner and walk on. Or I might want to get ice cream. Probably ice cream. But we're sitting in the parking lot just talking, and Bailey tells me, Brady, I'm a virgin. I want to let you know that. I said, I know. How do you know? So I can just tell. Not because of, you think of a virgin, thinking like this girl who does everything right. No, just she has this glow. She's modest. Modesty is the most beautiful thing in the world. Let me tell you something, guys. Instagram and all this, I'm in the world with y'all. They got these girls that post these pictures and, do all this. They might be pretty girls, but what is that? Like, if you're that willing to show that much skin, if that's telling me that you don't have enough substance deep inside that you have to make up for it physically. That doesn't hold anything together. This girl right here, and she gets on me because I'm not honest. Like, guys in my life, I'm like, Domingue, put some clothes on, you crazy? You crazy? Quick story, it's kind of funny. Has nothing to do with relationships, but I was in the locker room. Whenever I got hurt, I was a locker room guy. And I would make guys laugh. I was a leader. I was keeping morale up. I was hurt. My career was over. What the heck, we're going to have fun. Well, it got to the point to where whenever the media would come in and say, Mr. Aaron Nola or Alex Bregman, can we have an interview? I could be fully dressed and I'm hurried. Take off my clothes, I have my stirrups on, and I have my ball cap on, and my belt, and I go, head, bat up! All I got is stirrups, a belt, and a glove on. And while the interviewer's like, can we go outside? Yeah. Well, this one guy, older guy, walks in, and walk up and says, we always had a post-game meal. I know, bud. And the guys would always, they would laugh. Like, that was the main event every day after games. Like, watch Joe Man, watch Joe Man. Like, hey, try the pork and beans. They're amazing. I'll give him a coleslaw. This dude is cracking up laughing. Like, this crazy guy. Well, he walks out and Greg goes, Brady, you know who that was? I said, no, not really. He said, that's the general manager for the New York Yankees. So I'm a Boston fan. I ain't worried about it. But anyway, so she gets on me about modesty, but she is very modest. And that, ladies, that is the most beautiful thing in the world. Because that tells me that a woman has self-value. And that's a part of that globe. Guys, there's hundreds of thousands of beautiful women out there. That beauty's going to fade away. Your muscles are going to fade away. But that mindset and that heart will always stay the same. And that's what you need to look for. But before you look for that, you got to love yourself. You got to like yourself so somebody else can love and like you. You got to know what you're about. You can't go into the Wild West and say, no, I'm a cowboy today. Go to California. What's up, bro? Whatever you say, hang 10, start surfing. Hey, I am who I am. You know? If you don't like it, I'm sorry for you. I am who I am. I know what I want in life. I know what I want in a woman. And you got to stay true to that. A true friend isn't going to want to change you. A true friend is going to want to support you and challenge you every single day. And whenever you become true friends with somebody, whether you're a guy or a girl, guys and girls can be friends without anything else. Just let you know it's possible. Because we were that before we started having the relationship we have now. But I can still say this woman is my best friend. Because she challenges me every single day. These previous relationships, I felt like I was trying to fix this person, you know? You can't fix anybody because we were unevenly yoked. We were not on the same page. You know, we were like two magnets pointing in opposite directions, pushing away from each other instead of coming together. But I meet Bailey and she makes me a better man. At the same time, I make you a better woman. I pray to God like this. That's what it's all about. You gotta build on one another. You gotta support one another and say, hey, you know, this is what we're gonna do. We actually just started this because she's been sending me pictures of rings. Oh God. And houses and Christmas coffee mugs with Mr. and Mrs. And oh my goodness, it's coming. And you know, we're looking to get married next year, and first we gotta get engaged. But where's it going with this, baby? I lost my train of thought with the ring. Freaked me out. Oh yeah, evenly yoked. So we're looking forward to getting married, and we that's what I'm gonna say. We just started this deal. I think it's a beautiful thing. There's times where we might fall asleep, but majority of the nights, we started texting each other or writing out, sending our prayers, what we prayed for to one another at night. And let me tell you something, it opens your eyes. A lot of things, it solves a lot of things that are might be questioned, unanswered. I really enjoyed that. It's going to prepare us as we move forward into a everlasting relationship. But going back to, so if you are dating somebody, I suggest you do that. That is pretty neat. You know, send them what you pray about. Let them send you what they pray about. It's a beautiful thing. And y'all work on it together. But whenever she told me that she was a virgin, I could have ran. Because I saw the determination in her eyes of, I'm a virgin and I will be a virgin to the day I get married. So if I wasn't right in who I am, where I was in my life, you know, there's two mindsets, and it's an evil thing. It's either you got the right mindset and you respect that, which is what I did. I said I would never challenge that. I'll never try to push you in the wrong direction. I respect that full-heartedly, and I believe in it. I think it's a beautiful thing. And thank you. Thank you for that. Because at that point in time, I'm praying that we just have a good friendship. And we ended up doing that. Now we're looking about marriage. And I'm going to be her only man. That is the ultimate compliment. So, whenever she told me that, I said, absolutely, I'm on the same page. So we were able to push forward with a friendship with no underlying meaning. I knew we could hang out and I could scratch her back, and she knew that I wasn't trying to do anything uncalled for. And we were able to build that friendship, and that was the easiest thing. Nothing was overshadowed or clouded. That was the first relationship I ever had that was, I felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulders because we were doing it the right way. And it's possible. It's very possible. It's easy. We had God as our foundation. We built a friendship. And once you do that, He takes care of the rest. As long as you're evenly yoked. If you feel like you're fixing somebody all the time, man, that's not your burden. I mean, be there for somebody, but that's not your burden to carry. Because they're just going to bring you down. So find somebody that's evenly yoked with you, that's running, and they're right there with you at all times. If they're not, keep on running and see who catches up with you, and see who's still running on the side of you daily.
And so, like he was talking about, with being evenly yoked to be able to help out one another, that's what the season of friendship is for, before you enter into a dating relationship with somebody. So, with that, you're able to see who is this person friends with? How do they treat people? How do they talk to their mother? What is this person all about? And so, with that, you're able to see before you jump right in, once you become sexual with someone, enter into that romantic relationship before you know them, biologically, you are already blinded, right? So once that starts happening, your body's made that way. It's a beautiful thing, but if you take advantage of that and you don't have the right course of a relationship, it's just going to create a lot of baggage that you're going to need to heal from, and that's really hard. And so, like Brady was saying,
Bush said we had 10 minutes. Yeah, that's not enough. He said 5, I said 10. Yeah.
okay.
What were you talking about? Living right. I had a baggage. Make sure you know what I was saying, make sure you know who you are.
Yes. Okay. And so, when we first started dating, we referred to us as friends, we were hanging out. So I think it's a lot easier said than done. So you say like, okay, well, how, you're on your own. What does a friendship look like between a boy and a girl? When we hang out, we go get coffee, we'd study with people. If we hung out at the apartment, it would be us in the living room. Not secluded, not around, not putting that temptation there, right? We hang out in the living room with friends. We make it about friendship things before we actually started spending time alone together. We go on dates, out to eat dinner, then stay downtown and hang out and talk. So practically, that's what those things are.
Absolutely. And we are breaking up into guys and girls later on after lunch also. Okay, so we'll be able to hit on some good stuff. I want to fast forward a little bit. I want to answer this question. Why do we date? Why do we date? Say it louder. To find a wife. So, if I'm dating somebody and I know this ain't gonna work, but you know what? She's pretty. Man, go on about your business. Best advice I've ever got is from that woman right there. It was, do you. That's what the sum of what we're talking about. Do you. Be who you are. Don't worry about changing yourself. Be you. Focus on the man upstairs, doing what he wants you to do, having an open mind, open heart, listen to him, live right, come, do your thing. Because guess what? The right person's going to come along, whether it's a guy or a girl, going to come along and see you for who you genuinely are. They're not going to want to change you because you're doing you. that attracted them from the get-go. Does that make sense? If you try to impress somebody or try to be somebody that you're not, they think you're somebody else. So whenever your true colors come out, which they will, they might not like that person. So you don't waste all this time. Just be straight up from the beginning. This is who I am. The right one will come along. And if not, keep preparing yourself for that person and stay true to yourself. Who is the ultimate example of sacrifice? Jesus, absolutely. Young men, we're going to talk about this later on, but even women, you have to sacrifice, but mainly men. Men, we talk about anatomy a little bit from Jason Everett. We were listening to a talk last night. A guy's anatomy is different than a woman's, okay? We are the initiators of life. We are the initiators of life, period. So a girl shouldn't have to come up to you and ask you, hey, what's the problem? No. You shouldn't have to, Dylan and Gavin shouldn't have to walk together so Gavin could go get a prom date. No. Young men, I challenge you to quit being selfish. Alright? Make a woman feel important. Walk up to her, be a man, and say, hey, would you like to go on a date with me? It's easy. You know why men are supposed to ask women on dates? That way a woman doesn't have to go and ask and face rejection. We're sacrificing that for them. Does that make sense? We're taking that burden off of them to where, you know what, we're going to handle that rejection. They shouldn't have to deal with that. It's kind of messed up. They can reject you and it's like, but hey, that's what it's all about. Be a man. Be friends with people. Get to know people. Stay true to yourself, because that's what it's all about. But sacrifice, you know what? I'm going to put this on the back burner, and it's not laws. It's not set in stone laws. I don't want you to feel like, sex is bad. I can't do this, can't do that. That's the most beautiful thing in the world if it's done right. And there's a time for everything. We listened to that talk last night. I didn't know this, but supposedly women's brains are connected by tissue. Both sides of their brains are connected by tissue. And men only use one half of the brain. Yeah. Explains a lot.
For certain things, not all the time.
Huh?
For certain things, not all the time.
Yeah. Not all the time, but through certain things. I think arguments, anger.
Yeah.
So that explains a lot of stuff. But what I'm saying is, guys, we are the men. I have a quote somewhere in here. Not a quote, a Bible verse. It's right here. That really struck out to me. This comes from the man upstairs. From 1 Kings, chapter 2, verse 2. Take courage and be a man. That's hard to read the Bible because it's hard to follow, but that's pretty blatantly obvious right there. Take courage and be a man. The best man in the world is Jesus Christ. Take it from him. He was challenged every single day. Okay? Tested every single day. Temptation. Hebrews 2:18. For in that he himself has suffered being tempted, he is able to aid those who are tempted. That man went through a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And he stayed true to his Father. So if you put that as your foundation in life, in sports, in everything, relationships, you set yourself up for success. And even if you don't succeed, you can look yourself in the mirror and look to the man upstairs and say, we did everything that we could do, and you're preparing me for something else. Keeping the faith. Because just because you deserve to win does not mean you will win. But like I said, you can look yourself in the mirror, you can look to the man upstairs and say, you know what, we did what we had to do to set ourselves up for it. That's what it's all about. That's being successful, that constant grind. Bailey, you want to wrap it up?
So just the basis of what we really wanted to cover was that, the way he talked about me, I don't know if you'll notice that, but I've never been talked about that before, or talked about like that in my entire life. You know? So girls, you know, I don't know if you had like the googly eyes when he was talking about me and stuff like that, but that's how each and every one of you deserve to be talked about, right? And guys, you should be able to talk about the woman that you spend the rest of your life with like that. And there's nothing that can separate you from being talked about like that, and to embrace those things and have those virtues and that grace. No matter if you've messed up, no matter if you're not really sure about it, pray about it. Those things form in you. You're not just born with those things. Pray about it. Look to people around you. Look to the strong people around you, the people that you look up to. Okay? And second, just...
I want to say this. Just because your past might be dirty, it's why your future is spotless. So just think about that. Don't think that you can't get out of something. All you gotta do is ask and put it in His hands. And it's a hard thing to do, that's all you gotta do. What were you saying? What were you asking for?
And just in closing, I think it was really easy to see, obviously we both are successful athletes, but we hardly talked about sports. So I think that in relationships too, don't base worldly things in who you're interested in. Because each and every one of you, you're not a stat. You're not anything like that. It's the things on the inside. And one of the biggest compliments he's ever paid me is, you know, I get to see the Bailey Landry that ESPN doesn't get to see. You know? So just think about those things. Think about that. And one last thing I want to leave you with before we go. Last thing, I promise. You know, when was the last time that you prayed for your significant other? Okay. Think about that and, you know, start the conversation. Ask them what you can pray about them for.
And I got like 3 more things, but it's only 2 minutes. Something we didn't say that we talked about last night. It's a little saying, whenever you fly a kite, alright, do you run with the kite, with the wind? Is that going to work? No. You kind of hold back a little bit. But what does that kite do? It rises. Does that make sense? Women, do not be scared to hold back a little.